we go. Yay.
Got it.
Yep. Okay. So, thank you guys so much for coming. Really appreciate it. And I know I don't struggle with the quality. Once I lay down, I'm out. Um, but I don't allow myself enough sleep at night. So I have been thinking about just trying to get into better habits for a long time. And then my husband and I, we went to a marriage enrichment thing, and they had this folder prepared for me when I got there based on questions that I answered online. And they were like, here, their biggest suggestion was that I needed to sleep more and have better habits of consistency through my day. I needed to exercise more. I needed to take better care of my health and all of that, which was really humbling because this is what I do. I tell people about wellness, and I'm not well. So I was like, okay, there's a great sleep class that I can personalize and do. And so I made the little chart, and um, I started noticing patterns within like just a couple days. So I thought I have to share this with you because it's helping me already just in a couple days. So thank you for letting us share it with you and coming in and checking out new habits that we're learning. We're not experts.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of funny that I am talking on sleep and stress. So I'm an Enneagram 3, for those of you that know what that is. Also very type A. So I'm big time night owl, not a morning person. And so I was not very good about stress when I first started working. When I came out of college a couple years ago being like way longer than I want to think about. But I was not very good about managing my stress. I worked in a very high behavior with like children with autism setting. And I was not very good about my sleep. And then I had kids, and then I was really not good about my sleep. So I've been working on that a lot with like through counseling and using essential oils and different other natural things. And then I'm actually working with a naturopath right now to work on a few things that I was just still like not feeling like I was where I wanted to be with wellness. And one of the main things, she was like, you need to work on your sleep schedule. And so Sarah and I were chit-chatting about that. And I started doing some of the things that Sarah did on her sleep chart. And I also have noticed since being more consistent with some of the things that we are going to talk about in this class, that I have actually been having way better quality of sleep. My energy has been better during the day. I've just been feeling a lot better. So we are both very much actively working on these things we're talking about with you. And we've seen a shift in those areas, which, so sleep and stress and managing those things is super important. So, well, Danielle, we will hopefully, maybe some other people can give you some tips tonight on some blends for your kids, because we're going to be talking about a lot of different things too for sleep in general, and just oily stuff, and as well as just non-oily like wellness tips as well that hopefully might help.
And any of these habits we can teach them to our children. My children have bad habits because, hello, the Enneagram 3, but I'm an Enneagram 7. I'm like fly by the seat of my pants all the time. And I've raised my children to be that way. And there's 8 of them, so it's hard. And I'm like, it's 8:30, it's bedtime, and they're like, what? I want to go to bed at 10 because that's very normal for us. But I'm getting my kids into better habits, and then it makes me able to say like, wow, I just rested for like 2 hours before bed without children, and now I feel like I can go to bed, and I'm, like I had the quiet time I need before I go to bed. So, and I can't see the chat; only Allison can see the chat, and the rest of you. But so comment in there. And we've already said we're not experts. We can't diagnose. We cannot treat or cure or give you like a plan. We can just tell you what works for us, and you can see if it works for you too. So, I'm gonna move over to the next slide and lavender, um, and the seed to seal process. But I think before we talk about that, we should talk about the overall the body and why if you're not sleeping well or you're super stressed, you need to ask yourself why. Um, a lot of people just ask me things like, "What do you have something for sleep?" Like, well, yes, but tell me about your sleep. Tell yourself, examine yourself. The chart helps to say, why am I not sleeping? Why am I not getting adequate sleep? Am I uncomfortable? Am I going to bed too late or getting up too early or taking a long nap during the day so I can't sleep at night? Or am I stressed and that's making me not sleep? Are my hormones a mess? Um, any of these things, PTSD. Um, um,
Emotions can play a big part.
so you have to really think about what is causing you to not sleep well. And then we can step in and say, oh, maybe you should try this because this worked for me or this worked for my friend who has PTSD and they started sleeping peacefully and Dreamcatcher is great for bad dreams. Things like that we can help with, but you really have to go to the root of it and think of it holistically. Your body, stress and sleep go together. Stress and sadness and sleep, digestion and stress and sadness and sleep, they all go together and our hormones control all of it really. So
Mhm.
um that sounds very overwhelming, but if you can come up with like um I I don't sleep because my mind is racing all night, then we might be able to say peace and calming might be your oil. And maybe you need some sleep essence. So um
Mhm.
don't forget to think about the whole picture, and it can't just be like at the end of your day, 3 times a week. You have to make a habit of it. And these oils and the products, they will work if you give them time to work. So,
Mhm. Yeah, so I think before we jump into the quality real quick, so one way to break it down if you are trying to think about what Sarah's talking about when her and I were chatting about it is thinking about, and I think both of us had posted this, but maybe if you missed it, she had broken it down into 3 categories in terms of like, what is your sleep quality? What is your sleep quantity? And what was the other one, Sarah? Is it
comfort.
comfort? And so that might help you in figuring out, like, is it just my routine is not super strict? Is it I'm just not sleeping well through the night because, like she said, my mind is racing, or I need to do a meditation with some oils, or I need to do a better job winding down? Like, so those are things to just, those are 3 things that you can kind of think through if you are trying to figure that out. So jumping into quality. So we just kind of wanted to briefly go through quality because we know most people on here are probably early oilers, but just to kind of cover this because it is super important. If you've ever smelled a different lavender versus Young Living lavender, you know this. So that the quality is super important, and where you get your products on a regular basis. And so with Young Living, they're monitoring the process, from everything from the guidelines that they use to fulfill the seed to seal promise. And Sarah's actually been to the farms more than I have. I've been once, which was phenomenal to see it firsthand, just how they oversee everything, how they they own the farms, the sustainable farming and practices they use, the care they use to hand weed the fields, and the zero use of pesticides. Um,
The
what
water.
else?
They use like clean water. They test the water before they,
Mhm.
water our plants with it. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. They go through like ridiculously rigorous testing. I was able to see some of that when I went. The testing that they do on each batch of oils and products and stuff in their labs. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to touch on, but I think that's it. But anyways, first trivia question. I totally feel that, Brandy. My husband is the same way. So first trivia question we're going to roll through is, what oils do you think they spray on the fields in Ecuador for flies? So because they don't use pesticides, any guesses on what oils they might spray on the fields in Ecuador to keep the flies away? Lemongrass. And if you want to drop those in the chat box, peppermint. These are good guesses. That would be stuff you would use like in your bug spray. Citronella. Nope, not yet. Getting closer. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So it's basil, Palo Santo, and tansy, which were not ones I was expecting, but that is actually what they use. So Sarah, do you want to roll into the next one on safety and all that jazz?
Yeah, so safety. Most of you guys know, don't put it in your eyes, don't put it in your ears. Be careful with like sexy bedtime oils that, you know, they're not hot, kind of test it a little first maybe. And just my biggest safety thing is stick with Young Living. Okay, just stick with the good stuff and you're not gonna have big issues. If you ever use an oil and it starts burning or something like that, just put some coconut oil on it and wipe it away with a dry cloth. And pay attention to which ones can be ingested. We're not going to talk a lot about that tonight, but you know, don't put pan away in your tea. It's got the childproof cap on it. Don't eat it. Okay. And if you ever have questions about something, just ask us. I'm pretty liberal when it comes to using oils on my children. I and myself, I don't follow the 50-50, but everybody should, unless they're comfortable doing something else. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next one, if that's all right. Did I cover it, Allison?
Yeah, before we hop into this, because we're trying to, I know it's like weird, we're on Zoom. So can you just share one thing about yourself that most people may not know? Because I know we're talking a bunch, but we want to like do all that. So just share that in the chat box. And then we will, as people comment on that, we'll roll into the next one on the Great Day protocol. So the way we're going to talk about through this class is, while we are talking about sleep and stress, we are going to be talking about through your day. So like morning, afternoon, and evening, because your whole day, as we were talking about like whole body wellness, really plays into how you sleep. And so how you start your mornings has such a huge impact on the remainder of your day. It can even be, I know for me, like I've really come to recognize this now with 2 kids, that how I set my day really makes a big difference. And so, you know, if you wake up, and for me, like if I wake up and I check my phone, it instantly sends my mind like into anxiety, like, oh, I need to respond to these messages right now, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And so one thing I try to do is I don't look at my phone until I get through certain things now. Like I've written them down, and that really helps me just be a little bit calmer going into the day, to get through the things that need to happen before I do any work, or even check text messages, anything like that. And so starting your day off right is super important. So Gary Young developed something he called the Great Day Protocol. So he uses 4 specific oils to support our emotions, promote feelings of harmony and joy, and guard against negative energies that disturb our thoughts and send our emotions into a tailspin. So you can also use these oils to combat occasional sadness, which is one of the other topics that we were talking about tonight. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of go through some of those oils, and just to share something on this. So this is something I've used before, and how it's really helped me in terms of setting my intentions for the day, and just I feel more balanced. I love all these comments of people. Wow, that's so crazy. That's really cool, Brandy. Sorry, I know Sarah, you can't speak.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so late. 7:20.
There we go. Okay. But so I've actually used this on my 4-year-old before, this Great Day Protocol, when he just seems to be all over. So if you're like, can I use this on my kids? I use it on my 4-year-old, and I can tell a difference. He sometimes will ask for certain oils now that are in the Great Day Protocol because I think he recognizes that they help. So first one we're going to talk about in the Great Day Protocol, there are 4. So Valor, it promotes a feeling of courage and self-esteem, helps to balance the body's energies. You place 1 drop in your hand and rub it together. You cup over your nose and you breathe deeply. With my 4-year-old, I'll do that. Or sometimes he likes to put it on my wrist and then I'll put it on his wrist and we'll just like roll it on the wrists like this. And we just do that. I'm like, okay, we're going to put some Valor on. And we just do it like this. And he loves that. So that's the first one you do. And then you basically set your intentions for the day. So for me, that might be just focus for me as a Christian, like that's focusing on, putting God first and helping to calm myself, and just focus on what I need to focus on. But that might be different for you. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one, Sarah. So the next oil is Harmony. So Harmony helps to create a positive attitude. It reduces stress and repel feelings of discord and chaos. You apply this oil over your solar plexus, or the area that is just below your sternum and above your belly button. So with my 4-year-old, we literally just roll it around his belly button though, like we would Digest. And I kind of do the same, to be honest. So we just kind of roll it on the belly. And I will say that one's an interesting one. If I feel kind of like I'm kind of just like chaotic, I will grab just that one and roll it on my stomach. And I feel more grounded and less like digestively like all over, which is really just a physical thing that I've noticed. So that is Harmony. Go to the next one, Sarah.
Harmony too, if you're fighting with somebody, like your spouse, you can put a little Harmony on them and you can put a little Harmony on you. And it literally like, it balances your energies to help you get along better. You can do that with your kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is Joy.
So joy is a calming and uplifting aroma. I personally like diffusing this one with orange. On days where you're just feeling a little bit more sadness or just kind of down, or it's like a super rainy day. I'm not a super floral scent person, but joy and orange together is like just a really good blend for that. And so you'll place a couple drops in your hand, inhale through your nose and rub over your chest or your heart. So that is joy. It's really hard after you have the second kid. And especially if you have kids through this last year, it's really hard. Joy would be a really good one to help, I think, with that. So Sarah, someone in the chat said, I became antisocial after my second kid. Oh, I think that was for something people may not know. But there will be some oils to go with that too. There's some really cool comments in here. Sorry, I just got distracted. That would be me like needing to use my oils for focus. White Angelica. So this is the last one, sorry, in the Great Day Protocol. Great. So White Angelica creates deeper feelings of security and protection by offsetting the negative energies that work to bring you down and invade your personal space. So a lot of times when people talk about like what's an oil for like negative energy, or like you're going to be around like negative people or just a lot of people in general, White Angelica is a great one to use. One of my girls, one of my customers, she has PTSD. She calls White Angelica her skipping on tulips blend. Like she's like complex PTSD and it is her go-to blend. Like she does not go without it. It has done so much good for her in terms of like helping her through her complex PTSD. So with this one in the Great Day Protocol, you would place a drop in your hands, rub your hands together, breathe in deep, rub your hands over the crown of your head, down your neck and shoulders, and then your midsection all the way to your toes. Typically, when I do this with my 4-year-old or myself, we just kind of do like here, or like I might just roll it on his shoulders. And so that's the Great Day Protocol. So that's just one great way to get your morning off right, to help you be more balanced, which will help you with stress and through your day. Brandy said, white Angelica has been great for my nightmares. Yes, white Angelica is one that I use when my kids are having night terrors as well, or there's a full moon. I found that white Angelica works great during those times too. So yeah. So I'm going to go into our next trivia question, and then Sarah's going to take us into our afternoon stuff. So our next trivia question, which was kind of fun, is so I do not make my bed. Sarah does. I don't. And so I want to make my bed more after I found this out. But what do you think the percentage of improved sleep people get when they make their bed in the morning? Like there's a statistic of like you get this much higher percentage of better sleep if you make your bed. What do you think the percentage is? 85%. Sarah said 85%, 45%, 65%, 40%, 60, 80. You guys, that's like really high, 50. Maybe I didn't phrase the question right. I don't know. 25%. Awesome. So the percentage is you get 19%, like people are they get 19% better sleep if you make your bed. Did I say that right, Sarah?
I think so. That must be why I get quality sleep, even though I don't have quantity, because I make my bed.
There you go.
Getting it, there's a difference in that comfort level climbing into a bed that is made for me.
So make your bed basically, and you'll get 20% better sleep apparently.
I have a little story about white Angelica before we move on, and it's gonna make all you moms want to go get white Angelica. My first bottle of white Angelica came, and I opened it up. I was like, "Oh, it smells so good!" And I went like this, and the dropper top popped out in my hand, and it spilled like 3/4 of the bottle in my hand. So I scooped it up as much as I could, but there was oil all over me. So I was like, "Hey kids, line up." And there's 8 of them. Well, I didn't put on, she was a baby then. So there's 7. I rubbed them all down like I was anointing them with holy oil. Okay. I rubbed them all down because I was like, well, I'm not going to waste this. Put it all over myself. Came upstairs to put the baby down for a nap, and I went back downstairs, and my kids were all like happy and singing, and they had cleaned the whole house. And I didn't tell them to, and that's not a normal thing. So there's something special about white Angelica. So anyway, go get you some. It's not that expensive actually, or buy it with your points. So next one, the mid-afternoon slump. I think it's really important to set aside some time in the afternoon. If just in between lunch and dinner, it's kind of like, or if you're coming home from work, those of us who stay home, with or without kids, spend some quiet time. That where you're not working, you're not on your feet, you're kind of like resetting your day for the evening, and to be on your best, like be at your best for the rest of your day. What I like to do, if you have kids, it's okay to say you have to go to your room and sit on your bed and read a book. It's hard to get them to do it at first, but once you get into that habit, which is what we're talking about, habits, it can really make a huge improvement in your day. So so make it quiet or put on music or whatever you want to do. Redo your diffusers if they're not still going from earlier in the day. Put something nice and calming, or maybe you need something to give you the energy you need to get through to the rest of your day. So whatever is your favorite. Sometimes I'm drawn to different oils. And I don't even know why. And so I diffuse them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I needed. So just kind of like be in tune with yourself, listen to your body, listen to what you just like look at your oils and think, which one is it? And just choose something, put it in there, sit down with a drink. Now we have our teas are amazing. I love the lemongrass. I forget what it's like, lemongrass green tea or something like that. That's a great one for the afternoon. Stick a drop of orange oil in there and just sit and relax and let your body rest for a few minutes, and your mind too. Apply some peace and calming. If you're really tired, maybe peace and calming isn't what you need. Maybe you need some genius or stress away, or orange is a great one, to get your body and your mind back focused and ready for the rest of your day. Um, so what is this lavender roll-on? Do you guys know how to use the roll-ons? You can buy the dropper tops that you see in this picture, and just pop it on any oil. You can make a blend for yourself for the afternoon, maybe bergamot, and they have bergamot and vetiver. Maybe vetiver can make people really sleepy. Just figure out what works for you and what makes you feel good and what makes your home happy, and it just sets the tone for the rest of your evening, whether you live by yourself or you have a house full. It's really important. And I talked about the tea, but another of my favorite drinks is um, Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red actually helps people sleep. Um, don't ask me how. It just makes us all over healthier. Okay, that's my only explanation. But Ningxia Red with some crushed ice and a little bit of bubbly water or tonic water and a dropper full of mineral essence. And you can add an oil like orange or citrus fresh or lemon or even thieves or cinnamon or something like that to it. Give it a little stir, and those minerals, they're going to help you with your sleep and your stress levels too, and they're going to make you feel better overall. And it's super important that we get those trace minerals, and you can find those in mineral essence. I do not recommend just putting the whole dropper in your mouth. It tastes really bad. So you can, if it's too bad, even in the Ningxia Red, you can add it to a bath or soak your feet in it. You can absorb the trace minerals through your skin if you cannot tolerate the taste. Or some people put it in an empty gel cap, which is another great way to do it. But that's how I like to kind of reset and prepare myself for the afternoon. Sometimes it's nice to like have a tea party with your kids, or coffee with your big kids, or your husband if he comes home from work or something. Coffee's not good for the whole sleep and the habits though, but sometimes it's kind of fun.
Mhm. So Sarah, really quick, because I think you could probably speak to this. So Danielle in the comments was saying, so the only time I get to myself is when I shower. So for those that don't know, Sarah has how many kids?
8, plus the stepson that I raised for 10 years.
Yeah.
He's 26.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I listen to podcasts or oily videos or whatever I want to learn about in the shower. You can listen to like an audio Bible in the shower. You can listen to relaxing spa music in the shower and use, we've got those amazing um, aroma therapy shower steamers. Have you guys tried the shower steamers? They are just like, I have used the easy, is it called Easy Breeze or something like that? Um,
Mm-hmm.
those are so nice. Um, get one of those once in a while. The Believe one, I still have one from Christmas last year, um, that I am waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm saving it for a really special shower. You can treat yourself that way. Um, and yeah, maybe use that time to really intentionally refocus yourself and prepare yourself. And I know when I was a young mom, it was really hard to not feel, and I'm not saying you are, and I don't know which Danielle asked this question, so I'm not talking to anyone in particular, but I used to feel really like sorry for myself that ah, like I don't have any time for myself. Um, but making these habits when your children are young really helps. And it's just for a season. And it seems like a really long season at first, but my oldest is going to be 21 in a couple days. And goodness, I used to put her in her baby bath and take her in the shower with me. Like I never got time either. And now I'm like, hey, watch the kids. I'm going to go take a 40-minute shower, like it'll change and you'll have those days where you can unwind a lot more than you are right now.
Right. And I thought the tip that you had for like do a tea party with them or, incorporate them into like those more calming activities, I think is super important. And just, I think sometimes for me, it's like I literally have a timer that goes off at a certain time in the afternoon to remind me of that. Like, because otherwise you get crazy and you're busy and you forget. And so if you have like that reminder, it will help bring your stress levels down during the middle of the day, and things like that. And so if you have those reminders in your day, it really, really can. It's like the mindfulness part of it can help bring your stress levels down. And so that's super important in planning your sleep, but also your stress levels. So, and that's what we're also talking about. I keep forgetting like, oh yeah, we're talking about stress too, not just like sleep. Um, so yeah.
Okay, so really even it down to it's gonna be I consider this like right after dinner. Dinner's cleaned up or getting cleaned up by your older children, doing their chores. So early evening. Yeah, somebody's something. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sarah, can you mute the person that just came in? Sorry. I think we're good. Okay. So yes, using oils in the shower, Danielle, is like a really good way to wake you up. Super helpful. I like eucalyptus, peppermint, any of those. So that was a great tip, Lindsay. Sorry. Okay. So rolling into early evening downtime, we were going to kind of talk about the sleep chart. So if you did not get the email, Sarah sent an email. I sent an email to my team. We both, I think, posted it in our groups. If you did not get that, just message me after this and I will shoot it to you in just like a private message if you want. So some of the things we're going to be talking about in this early evening downtime were on this chart. So you finished supper, your homework's done, sports are over, you're wrangling the kids for bed. And so, you might just sit down on the couch thinking about all the things you didn't get done that day. If you're like me, I'm a to-do list person. So like I have to really be mindful of those kinds of things and giving myself grace on some days more than others if I didn't check everything off the list. You might be thinking about something that happened that day at work that stressed you out. You might be, anxious about everything you have to do tomorrow or what's going on in the world. If you're scrolling through social media, just turn the phone off. So those kinds of things. And so some things that Sarah kind of talked about in terms of like the sleep chart that have been really helpful for me is like being aware of my screen time. That was the thing when I did the sleep chart that I noticed the most was the nights that I was on my phone, like really close to when I went to bed versus like turning it off an hour before bedtime and just having no screen time for an hour before bed. I had better sleep the nights where I turned my phone off an hour before bed, or just didn't have screen time. So I either read before bed or I turned off my phone and then I went through like my whole bedtime routine of either stretching or just like brushing my teeth, washing my face, all of those kinds of things. So I think the chart was really helpful in terms of making me more aware of things like that. And so I think in terms of your downtime too, this is something that I worked on a lot in counseling, but that Sarah and I also kind of talked about in terms of like maybe, you celebrate the things that you did get done. like, oh, I like just reminding yourself, like, I did, get this done today, or going through all the things that you did get done versus you didn't. So, walking through gratitude journal is a great one, Lindsay. Just writing things out too can be a really great way to help you process if you had a rough day, if you had a conflict with someone. Just journaling it out and being, just going through that process of, um, you know, handling that situation through writing can sometimes be really helpful. Um, Looking forward to tomorrow with, all of the blessings that can happen, can be super helpful. So looking, kind of flip the conversation. So if you're having a really hard time with those kinds of things, just flipping the conversation in your head can be really, really helpful, for stress in general and helping you to wind down. So those are some things that like I said, I worked on a lot in counseling. And then I've also worked on just through the years and I've still struggle with it, but I've gotten a lot better at trying to, just flip things around a little bit. So here are some tips that you can use for downtime. So turning off your phone. Sarah shared this, sipping on some hot tea. So she shared like the turmeric tea is really, really good for digestion as well, right after dinner. And it doesn't have caffeine. So it's really good for like winding down. It's very calming. It's phenomenal. I like chamomile tea, which is not from Young Living, but I like chamomile tea. You can do a relaxing bath. So those of you that know me, like I like to do my detox baths or like my baths once or twice a week. And I had gotten away from that. I did it really a lot last year and it made a huge difference in how I felt. And if you're having trouble with sleep, Epsom salts with some like lavender or whatever oils you want to put in. So the Epsom salts, magnesium is so, so good for your body, and helping with sleep. Most Americans are magnesium deficient. So I actually will do like the Epsom salt baths, but I literally have it sitting here so I could start sipping it. I have magnesium water that I take that's not from Young Living, but it's natural calm. And I do that literally every night. I do a couple milligrams and I sleep so much better. And I also don't have issues with like my restless legs and some things like that. So that's something. Aromatherapy. So make sure you get your diffuser going with some of those oils we talked about. If you have some favorites, you can drop them in the comments. And we'll talk about some more here too in a minute. But you can do some light stretches. So you want to do something that's not too over the top. You just kind of want to relax your body. So I actually learned this recently. I like to do yoga and stretch out. So when you actually get your circulation going with like a lighter stretch, it actually helps you to sleep better because the blood is circulating and moving and things like that. And if you actually do, there's one called, it's like a wall sit essentially. So basically, I was just going to try and do it on Zoom, but as I'm sitting here, you basically sit on the wall and you have your feet up. So like imagine I'm laying here, you have your feet up on a wall. When you elevate your feet like that, it actually causes the circulation to go back to your heart, and it actually causes your nervous system to relax more. And if you've been on your feet a lot, it will actually cause the circulation in your feet to get better, and your feet won't hurt as much either, and it'll take some of the swelling down if you're on your feet a lot. So that's like, you do it for like 10-15 minutes before bed, just like sit with your feet up on the wall, lay on the floor, and that actually will help you sleep better too. So that's like just a general yoga, like super easy pose. But then there's other things you can do. I personally like yoga with Adrienne. She actually has some like wind down, like 5 to 10 minute, like very gentle stretches you can do if you're like a beginner. She's great. Yes.
I love
Uh,
yoga with
and what?
Yoga with Adrienne she's my favorite. And
Mhm,
if I have to do something at home, that's my favorite. Uh,
mhm,
she probably has wind down nighttime yoga routines and lots of them. She probably has ones that are called like how to sleep better or
mhm,
for yoga for stress, yoga for back pain, yoga for cramps. Like she has everything. So
mhm.
if you ever just want to try something, it's really light and easy.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. I thought the one where you sit on the wall was just really interesting. I was like, okay, why is this good? Because that's just how I am. I have to know why. And so I Googled it and I'm like reading all these different like research things. And it's because of the circulation it does, it just calms your nervous system. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, so before we move to the next topic, do you have any routines in place that help you guys wind down after a long day? So I'm going to challenge you a little bit because I like do have some routines, but I'm not like I've been focusing on like, okay, I really have to get better about doing these things before bed to get better sleep. Anita said Palo Santo is one of her favorite nighttime oils. I hear that from people all the time and I just can't get past the smell. I don't know why.
I found Palo Santo sticks at Whole Foods, like sage here. Burning sage is like a normal thing to do in New Mexico. It's just part of the culture. But I had found Palo Santo, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And it smells like Palo Santo, right? And I didn't at first, but I love it now. And so sometimes when people are grumpy, I just like light my stick and I like, "Hey guys, smell this." And it is really calming. And yeah, so I love it. You just have to get used to it, I think, or change your mindset about it. Hey, you. Food is ready. Oh, thanks. Okay. Uh, yes, please. Lizzie is
Um,
instead of crawling on my floor, telling me that dinner is ready, because Lizzie Lizzie has bad sleep habits, but she's 19, and most of us had bad sleep habits when we were 19, right?
Kathy said she lays in bed and looks at a quilt magazine or reads her Bible. Um, Sarah said she drinks tea and uses peace and calming in her diffuser or vetiver on her feet. So yes, vetiver on your feet. I've like heard this recently actually, and I've been using oils for 6 years, guys. Vetiver apparently on your feet is like phenomenal, apparently for putting people to sleep, especially on your big toe. Um, Frank Quinn said, Frank, the very last thing before bed to quiet my mind, 2 drops in my palm, 2 drops in my palm, rub hands together, cover mouth, and breathe in, and then 2 drops on my forehead. Oh, I've actually heard that about your forehead. I'm going to go into a story. Sorry, Sarah. I had some traumatic stuff last year at one point, didn't we all? And I used, someone who recommended using Trauma Life on your forehead. And it was like, it was like I had been having issues and nothing was working with like bedtime and for a couple days. And I used Trauma Life on like my insides of my wrists, the back of my neck, and I used it on my forehead. And I swear it was like, it worked. Like it was like instant calming. It was crazy. So if you have trouble with sleep, maybe try your forehead. That's a great tip because I think that's just sometimes we try like, things like the insides of our wrists, the back of our neck, like your typical places that you put it. I find with my kids, tips of their ears, like peace and calming, I put it on the tip top of their ears. And it's like huge difference. So maybe try that.
Well, as far as like, I'm not into chakras and all that, but this is your third eye. But what is behind right here is your pineal gland, and that regulates your hormones and your sleep. So that makes perfect sense. Um, yeah, I read to put clary sage here, and I was like, why? I don't know, but I started
Oh
doing.
my gosh.
Notice my wrinkles are getting better.
I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do it every night. It's going on my forehead. I'm putting oils on my forehead.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anita said she mixes her favorites like lavender or cedarwood. Danielle says she prays before bed and it calms my mind most nights. I do that too, Danielle, and it for sure helps. Brandy said peace and calming on her chest, vetiver on her feet, valor on her back. Just need a fall asleep quick solution. Okay. So I think some of the stuff we've been talking about, like just how are you winding down? Like for me, when I'm having trouble falling asleep, it's usually because I didn't wind down. I was on my phone like too close to bedtime. A lot of times that's the thing. So I found that like by either reading in bed or doing stretches or different things, doing some breathing, being off my phone, those are the nights where I fall asleep quicker and I tend to sleep better. Also doing I have found with like the supplements that we talked about, or we will be talking about, like for me, like magnesium, sleep essence, those different things, taking them as, not like right before bed, but maybe like an hour before bed makes a big difference too, because then it's into your system. You want to go to the next one, Sarah? I think this is our last one or second to last one. Thank you for hanging with us, guys.
So these are some of the things that we've already mentioned. Oils. And if you have problems with negative thinking, go to Dreamcatcher or White Angelica. If you have problems with like stopping your mind from, you're just thinking about everything, try cedarwood and try that right there. I put cedarwood in my hands like this, and then I like rub it into my whole head. Or sometimes I'll like find my part and stick it in there and like rub it through my hair. Cedarwood is a great one, and it's really inexpensive. These are great kid oils too. If your kids are just like want them to go to bed and they're not ready. Cedarwood, Dreamcatcher, Sleepy Eyes is great. I'm going to say something about lavender though. Lavender's in Sleepy Eyes and lavender is in Kids Calm. I have a very hyperactive little 3-year-old girl, right, Lynette? And she she doesn't respond well to lavender. It hypes her up. She's never like when she was a newborn, she didn't like lavender. She would like pull away, but if I put frankincense, she would go towards it. Um, or stress away. Those are her oils that she likes since she was a newborn, and those are the ones that still really work well on her. So, trial and error. We have so many oils, we have so many blends. You might have to take a blend and add some orange, or take a blend and add some cedarwood. Um, Trial and error works really well with oils because it's not going to hurt you. Trying something that doesn't work is not gonna it's not gonna hurt you. Maybe the worst, it might give you a nightmare. But that is,
Or it just doesn't, one thing might not work as well as another.
and the thing about nightmares and oils, guys, is that it's unlocking something deep in your brain that you need to process. And so I know we see it as a bad thing, but sometimes, okay, I'm going to give you a story here. When I first used Valor, we were living in a travel trailer. And so we were all in the same space. Okay. I put Valor in my diffuser, and every one of my family members and myself had a nightmare that night. But what is valor for? It's for courage. It's for strength. And valor is to make you feel like you can conquer this scary thing. And so it unlocked something in our brains and we conquered it in our dream. Okay. It's amazing. Oils are so amazing. And when we think about um they, even if we don't enjoy a nightmare, it's okay. It did something to our body that probably needed processing. So, anyway, back to lavender. Doesn't work for everybody. If you have ADHD, which my little girl probably does, lavender will often have an opposite effect. So whether you're an adult or a kid, lavender for me, it doesn't make me fall asleep. It is calming. It calms my brain, but it also helps me really like hyper focus. So it's really good for me if I like my afternoon slump. I use lavender sometimes and like, okay, time to focus and get stuff done. But I'm also like, chill about it. Um, Rutavala is another one. Rutavala has lavender in it, so I can't use that on my little one, but Rutavala will put people out. Like my husband loves it. A lot of people are like, this is the stinkiest thing ever because valerian is not a very good smelling oil. So just put it on the bottoms of your feet. if you really have a hard time sleeping and you can't take that smell. Some people really like it though. And I think, does it come in a bottle now or just a roller? I think for a
I think
while
it's just the roller at the moment.
somewhere like it was maybe in a sleep collection in the last year or something like that. But
I think it's in I think it might be in one of the freedom kits.
okay.
I think you're right on that. Um so someone in the comments said that they think her daughter has ADHD or an ADD. So yeah, so lavender may not be, so you might just have to be aware of that, Danielle. Like Sarah was saying, like lavender may have the opposite effect on her, or it might, like it might be fine. So an example, so my two children, so I have a 4-year-old and an 18-month-old. My 4-year-old, sleepy eyes is his jam. Like the day I discovered sleepy, he was terrible sleeper. And so someone was like, try sleepy eyes, because I tried things, nothing was working. I got sleepy eyes. Man, I opened that bottle and he was in like a huge meltdown. We were on this long car ride and it was like he instantly stopped. And like to this day, it's still just this like my magic oil with him. Like we would fly on to like Houston to see my husband's family, and I would just like put it under his nose on the airplane. He would pass out for nap time. I put in his diffuser. He sleeps like 10 to 12 hours. It's great. Every now and then I have to change it up for him, but it's great. My 18-month-old, sleepy eyes, does nothing. Absolutely nothing. He does not sleep better. Frankincense and lemon, he sleeps better. Right now it's peace and calming and lavender is apparently his jam. I've had to definitely play with to figure out what is his jam. Peace and calming seems to be the current one that is working the best for us. For a while it was frankincense and lemon, and I was like, why do they have to be frankincense every night? Why? Please, like not a super expensive oil. Why couldn't it be sleepy eyes? No, it had to be frankincense. And Valor was his other one that was like, I think because I put Valor on from like day one with him, because I do it every single day. I think he liked Valor because I probably smelled like Valor all the time. So I think you just have to do a little bit of trial and error for sure, because once again, like that's like my two kids, different things in their diffusers every night, or even on their feet, or different things. Peace and calming for me during pregnancy, when I'm pregnant, I cannot do it for whatever reason. It like has me wide awake. Not out of pregnancy, I'm fine. So I think recognizing too, like that's why we have to be changing our blends sometimes too, because if your hormones are shifting and different things too, you might need something different. There's my little spiel.
Well, we have the roll-ons like Rutavala. Tranquil is, oh, you guys, it is like one of the best smelling things, like Tranquil. I love it. That one is also great for anxiety and stress. So I kept that in my purse. I don't need it at night because I fall right to sleep, but it's a really beautiful blend. Um, Sleep Essence is actually a supplement. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. What I think it's got a lot of the like the rutavala oils in it. Um, and it's a capsule. It might have herbs also. And you take one or two about half an hour before you want to fall asleep, and it should knock you out. Um, Herbs, though, which most of our oils are herbs, um, they sometimes take a few weeks of trying for them to work fully the way that you want them to. So if it doesn't work like the first couple nights, keep going. Your body needs to know what to do with it. Also, with oils and supplements, you need to be intentional with them, not just like, well, maybe I'll throw this one on tonight. Think like, okay, I'm going to put this lavender on my heart and I'm going to think about how it's calming me down. And I'm going to really let myself fall into this, like be one with the lavender or whatever it is that you're using. Gary put it this way, like you have to tell the oils what to do. Your body has to tell them what to do and where to go and what you expect from them. Now, I don't say like, oh, genius oil, you're going to help me focus for this class and you're going to, like help me be a genius. No, but you have to like be intentional. Like, I'm using Genius right now because I want to focus and I want it to help me to not go on rabbit trails. I want it to help me to be present and do the job that I'm here to do. That's what I mean by like doing its job. Another good, well, we have the child's, what are they called? The packets for sleep. Mighty Calm? No.
Oh gosh. I know what you're talking about because
It's like the Mighty Pro.
Unwind.
Yeah, Unwind.
Yes.
Mighty
Yeah,
Calm.
so they're like magnesium packets and they're different than melatonin. Lindsay Elmore went into this, I think, in a blog post, and she talked about why it was better than melatonin, giving your kids melatonin consistently. It was really funny to see people try these when they first came out. I gave it to my 4-year-old and he's like, he was like really amped after our car trip. And that was when I decided to try it on him. So he would hopefully wind down better for sleep. And he's like, Mommy, why did you give me medicine?
He doesn't appreciate the taste of it. And so I was like, I'm not gonna buy them for her anymore. I know that they worked, but I didn't want to fight with her. I just tried something different.
Mhm.
You know what works? A routine. A routine works with that one. So, like snuggling a little bit on the couch and having some family time and then saying, okay, it's time to go potty and get your pull up on and brush your teeth and lay down and set your diffuser. What color do you want it tonight? And she picks her color on her little owl diffuser and it helps her. So anyway, sorry, I had a text pop up that might have been loud. But so there's that. We have a magnesium blend that a lot of people don't know about called MegaCal. MegaCal is something that you stir into a drink and it's got calcium and magnesium and some other really great minerals that can help you sleep. Also mineral essence is a good one to use before bed. And sometimes people get really energized by Ningxia, but sometimes they like to drink it at night too. So that's always an option, or you can put it in whatever just to get it down. Just like not Coke or coffee. Probably wouldn't be good. So let's see. There was ImmuPro. That's another really good one. It's an immune boosting chewable tablet that has oils and herbs and it's immune boosting and it helps you sleep. And I believe that one has melatonin in it. Do you know?
It does. So it has melatonin. I believe it has melatonin, mushrooms, wolfberry, some oils. I feel like there's one other thing in it, basically. So it's basically like an immune boosting sleep thing. So some people will take it just when like they're starting to not feel well as a way to be like, I need to get a good night's rest and an immune boost. Some people take it regularly. Oh, sorry, I was reading a comment. So yeah, ImmuPro is a good one definitely for sleep if you are looking to try and get better sleep and want like a supplement form. Someone made the comment, Unwind is good in juice, not so much alone. I personally I wanted to try it and see if I slept better. And I did sleep better when I tried it. I didn't mind the taste, but yes, a lot of people will put it like in juice or yogurt or something like that before bed to help their kids wind down. Yeah, so our last thing before we wrap things up and you guys can ask questions was just so we talked about a lot of different oils and things like that to incorporate at bedtime, and then we talked about some different things, but once you've gotten your diffuser going or you have oiled up for the night, you can do things like your journaling, gratitude journal. Sometimes getting up though, so that might seem counterintuitive, but if you're trying, why would you get up if you're trying to go to sleep? But if you find yourself that you're tossing and turning, sometimes just getting up, finding like a simple task to do and then coming back to bed, or finding a different essential oil to apply, or even, just grabbing a book or something like that to basically calm your mind. Sometimes, so I found that, especially during pregnancy, sometimes if I just got up and I literally did like a lap around the house and I came back, I could fall back asleep. So sometimes it may seem counterintuitive, but just getting up for a minute to kind of like walk do something calming. It's almost like if you walk out of the room and walk back in, it's like your mind's like, oh, okay, it's time for bed. So sometimes just resetting is good. So doing any of those things, doing yoga, once you've applied your oil, stretching, whatever it might be, making sure you have that breathing exercises, making sure you have those things in your routine. And like I said, the sheet that Sarah had a lot of good suggestions just to kind of help you if you're really struggling with that, like winding down. That would be something I would suggest going through. Sarah, do you want to is that everything? We want to open up the floor for questions.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm gonna stop my screen share. Well, there's another, the Freedom Kits. If you have some tax return money coming or something like that, and you have a really hard time and you just are like, I'm going to go all in. These are some oils on this screen here that you cannot buy. And they're specifically for release and sleep and being hostage to not, being hostage to your thoughts and your mind, and not being able to sleep and recover. Sleep is really, it's very important. And it's important that we get enough and that we get it well, or like a good night. Your last your 7 and 8 hour of sleep is when you are in like full recovery mode. And so I struggle with migraines and headaches, and there's a difference between the two. Um, those, I'm not letting my brain get that 7th and 8th hour of sleep, you guys. And I think if I do, maybe, um, maybe my headaches and my migraines would be better. Um, so like you can buy transformation. Um, Sometimes you can buy freedom, sometimes by itself. I don't know if that's available currently by itself. Joy, of course, Valor, and that's it. But the other ones are all only available through this kit. And I believe that Gary created this set for basically for war vets. And so
He
these,
did. He created it for war vets and those with like PTSD.
yeah. So
Just
it's really, there was a lot of care put into this collection for people who really, really need that relief, the relief from anxiety and stress. And so we just wanted to tell you that this is available. Not a lot of people know that it's available. It may be in like a special collection set. You might have to go through shop. I don't think you can buy it on ER. I don't think you can buy it with your points, but it is there, and
I think you can do it on ER. You cannot do it with your points. I checked today.
that's good to know. Okay, thank you. But that's there if you need it and if you have the money. I think it's like $300, 340, something like that. But if you think about those oils, they're probably worth it if you know the value of the oils.
Well, and they're meant to, I remember someone talking about this when it came back. They're meant to, like the release kit and the sleep kit, that's like all in the same price. They're meant to go together because, as she said, like you're working on releasing emotions and then you're also working on sleep, and those go together. So a lot of what we talked about tonight, we talked about setting your day, starting your day, your afternoon too. Just like sometimes we get so busy we forget to stop and pause, like making sure we're taking care of our stress levels in the middle of the day, making sure we're taking care of our energy levels. And even that 5-minute pause can do so much for your whole day and your stress levels, and bringing your cortisol down and your breathing down and your heart rate down. And then obviously, like we talked a lot about, winding down at night. What's your routine look like? Bree said it's $321.25 for the Freedom Kit. So all of those things. Thank you for everybody that came.
Can we get, I'm going to back out, and I would love, because we have, Allison and I both have a giveaway. I'm going to stop my screen share, and then I can see everybody's faces. If you If you don't want to show your face and you want to be entered to the drawing, put your full name in the comments, and maybe even your member number. If you know it, if you don't know it, just say who is your enroller. That would be really helpful for us because we want to be able to bless you guys with some fun ways to make these habits,
Mhm.
well, more fun. So, and maybe if you guys want to stick around and ask questions, or tell us something that you learned that you're gonna try out, would be great.
Mhm. And if you have questions too, Danielle, can you see the comments now, Sarah?
I think I probably have to open up my chat. There we go. Okay.
So Sarah, what do you want us to put in the chat? If you could just put your full name, because some people it does not show their full name, just so we know. Because like there's like one that says iPhone, things like that, just so we know. Oh, Courtney. Hey, Courtney. So Courtney, the freedom one eventually might be really good for you. Courtney is actually a vet. So Sarah, you were in the military too, right?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
That's right.
Hi, Sarah Williger, you newlywed. Hard to figure out your name when I see it. So thanks for adding the lane in there, because sometimes I'm like, who is Sarah Williger? Oh, okay. So Sarah's dad is a vet and Kristen's husband is a vet. So yeah, just put it in there if you want to be, you know, we want you all to have a fair chance at our giveaways. So anyway, I think I'm going to start journaling, which that might be hard for me, but I have worked on my comfort. I rearranged my bedroom. We're getting a new bed, but just moving it over there and making my room more pretty or prettier is that's better for me already. It's clean, it's cleaner, and that helps declutter my mind. It makes me feel like a grown up lady with a clean nightstand. So that's helped me already this week. And but I think instead of, because if I read, it's really hard for me to like read a book in bed. I would read on my phone and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to journal instead and just put down what I'm thankful for that day. Oh, that's good, Kathy. Hi. I'm glad you guys all came. Thank you.
So I will say this really quick before, if you have questions too, drop them in the comments. So I will say this about what Sarah said about for those that are into chakras, like your third eye is here. I'm not, but she was saying your pineal gland is here, which like affects your hormones and stuff. And so someone had shared about putting an oil on your forehead here, and I've done that like once before. So if you are struggling with sleep or emotions, like right here. So, which actually makes sense because in yoga before they've been like, oh, put a drop of lavender here and then like, roll your head on your block. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. That makes sense now. Now I'm like, there's the science with the
There's
oils.
Science, and I believe God created us this way. He gave us energies and frequencies, but people tend to like twist it and make it into something like witchcraft or whatever. I just haven't studied chakras. There's probably something really to it because God created us with energy centers. I just don't know about it. So yeah, I'm just really careful about what I say about things like that because I don't want somebody to think I'm that way. But I used to be that way about oils, guys. I used to think oils were like new agey and all that. They're not. God made them. It's a plant juice. And he made it for us to enjoy and to benefit from. So I don't know. So did we get everybody? I'm gonna take a
So Courtney is she's one of my girls. She is all about science because she is a BCBA. So that's actually her and I met at work. But so it's been really fun to I like get some of the science, but I'm not like a super sciencey person. I'm like, this works because it works. Like this was magic with my child because he instantly stopped crying. Like that's just, I don't know. So like learning about the science stuff. Oh, there's like a really good Instagram page for those of you on Instagram. Science of Essentials is phenomenal in terms of like the science. So anyways, there's my tangent. I was gonna do my people really quick. I plugged them into a random. Let me make sure I have all my people. And I can pick my person. Let's see, Courtney, Danielle, Bree. Is that it? Is there anybody else? I think Quinn hopped off, but cool. I'm gonna run my giveaway people really quick on this shuffle thingy.
Do the same thing. Because well, other than the lounge, something I forgot to say about the lounge, and if that freedom and release bundle, that's great, but the freedom kit or the freedom feelings kit is another great one. If you have a lot of like deep-seated hurts, you have things you can't get over, it's affecting your health, and your relationships, get that feelings kit. There's a unit in there of a class that I did in the lounge, and I do videos showing how you use each oil intentionally to break free from certain things. So in a lot of those, like I already had a lot of them, so I didn't need to buy the feelings kit, but I had saved my points for it. But then I was like, wait, I have most of those. I just need another bottle of release, and I forgot what the other one was, but I only had to get 2 of them to complete it. But you can buy the whole set with your points, and it's a good deal to buy those collections with your points.
Yeah, that's actually so the emotions Zoom that we had last month was phenomenal. And they talked a lot about these oils, and I was like, oh, why don't I have some of these? Why don't I have some of these? And I actually have enough points, and I've been saving up. So this next month, I am actually going to use my points to get the feelings kit, because I really feel like it's where I'm at in life right now. I need to go through that whole protocol. So yes, that is in the lounge, and that's a great tip. So drum roll, da-da-da. Bree, you were on the random.org, whatever website it was. You were the winner. So thank you for coming tonight. And my other girls, I'll still probably send you something because I love you. But yes, does anybody have any other questions while Sarah are you doing your giveaway real quick, Sarah?
I am, yeah.
Perfect. Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap up? Because I know we just talked about going to sleep and routine and bedtime, except for those of you in Sarah's time zone. It's like dinner time, but yes, the feelings kit. It's awesome and better to get with points. Yes, so you can put it on your ER, but you can put the feelings kit on your ER and get the points for buying it, but you can also use your points on it, which I think is just good to know. That it's one of those things that's like a big bundle, and it's really, really great for working through emotions and emotional release and things like that. So I have worked a lot on emotional release over the last couple of years. Just really since having my boys, I had postpartum depression. So I went through a lot with that, with counseling and oils, and done a lot with like adrenal fatigue as well. So Endoflex has been like my BFF for that, as well as like nutrition. And I think what Sarah and I kind of talked about, like if you're struggling with like stress or sleep, or your kids, looking at routine, looking at what is going on is really important, because for me, my issues with sleep was adrenal fatigue. And so once I addressed my adrenal fatigue with like Endoflex and nutrition changes, my sleep got better. Right now, as I've been working on sleep, I am working with my naturopath. I've been finding that like my cortisol levels were kind of high. My adrenals are actually pretty decent, but my gut health is where I've been making shifts, and then just getting more strict with my bedtime and winding down has made a huge difference. So super important. Anyways, Sarah, is that who you picked?
I think I didn't know if that was Danielle Haynes, but I don't think it was. So I was just making sure I had everybody in here.
I think that's my Danielle.
Okay. The winner is Kristen. Kristen Irvine, you won the giveaway. So now I don't have to go to the post office because you're local. I hate going to the post office. So I didn't do it on purpose. I promise. It was a random name generator. So anyway, I'm going to have to say goodbye because my washing machine's broken and I'm going to run to Home Depot now because I think they're on sale. Oh, well, okay. Don't tell her. She didn't get entered. Okay, Anita. Sorry.
Well, thank
But anyway, okay. You guys, if you want to stay on and chat, I'll leave it on. Or we can just say goodnight. So yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you joining, and I hope that, oh, our next class, I think it's March 20th. I don't know what time. I'll send you an event page or whatever. It's going to be about the eyes. So this whole thing got me started about blue blockers and nighttime vision and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put together a little set, and you'll have to pay me first, and I'll buy the stuff on Amazon and I'll box it up and I'll ship it to you. Or if you're local, come to my house and I'm going to get you guys some cute little blue blocker glasses and some really cool eye helpers. And we're also going to play around with like eye serum, eyebrow help, lash serum, stuff like that. So it's going to be like a beauty and an eye health class. So if you guys want to invite people to your house to hop on a Zoom like this, and I'm going to have people at my house and we'll just do a big party, we can do that if you want to. But $10 each if you're at my house. You're going to get food and treats and a packet of Ningxia. And if you are not, you get shipping. So it evens out. Okay. So anyway, that's what's
You're terrible at hanging up, aren't you?
I know, really bad. Really bad. Okay, bye guys.
I'm not because I'm a 3.
And then
So
I went to her house for 15 minutes yesterday and it was like 4 hours. But I love Lynette. I missed her. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
have a good day.